Hey, welcome back. This week I got a rare treat on my bench. This is a Harman Kardon 330C. This was brought to me by a viewer of the channel, Catherine. She wanted it repaired. Apparently I don't know the exact story, but apparently she took it into a local repair shop and they went through it and they said, yeah, it's all good. And she took it home, I guess, and tried it, and it develops scratchy switches and scratchy pots, and the tuning meter is stuck, about 1/3 deflection. So she wasn't quite enamored with the service she got, so she wanted it fixed up properly. So she sent it to me. We're going to go through it and make sure it's all 100%. It's very nice condition cosmetically. There's really no damage whatsoever anywhere I can see. I was just looking at it before I turned the camera on, and I was impressed with the condition of it. It's a very nice unit. And let's have a look at the back. And the back looks very clean too. It looks like it's been well cared for. So we're going to go through, make sure everything's 100%. If it needs it, we're going to do it. Caps, we're going to go through everything. And she also mentioned that she might want some of these switches replaced, so I might go ahead and do that too, depending on how badly messed up they are. There's only the 5 switches, 2 of them are speakers. So we'll go through and we'll check it out. But first let's have a look inside. So first look inside. Seen a bit of hours there with the dust. It's okay. It looks very clean inside. It looks, I don't see any dust, much dust at all. And it doesn't look like anything's been replaced. They're all original transistors, so original caps. Everything looks pretty clean and untouched, which is good. But that's good. I'll pull the bottom off as well, and then we'll hook this thing up and see what signals we're getting through it. All right, speakers are attached and powered, plugged in. Let's turn this thing on and see what we can do. A little bit of scratchiness on the volume. So I'm on FM stereo.
It came to an end. He then was out. As I recall, I thought it was an upper body.
AM's working. This tuning knob is really stiff, like it needs a good lubrication.
Encourage your coworkers to sing along.
It's working. It's working good. There's my FM here.
The way it looks ain't worth. So when you take a drop,
A little bit of dirt in the tuning gang there.
told me that in
Lucy.
Feels like the
Really has no trouble picking up FM. It's doing good there. I think it might need a little bit of alignment, but it doesn't look like it's so far off. It's pretty sensitive for FM. Let's try phono. I should have a signal here. Scratchy pots. Getting some weird stuff going on here. Distortion and scratchiness. Well, that doesn't sound good. Maybe it's just that one switch. Yeah, that's... Okay, well I think I got a good idea what it needs. You can hear that left channel going freaking out right now. That switch has to go. I don't know if cleaning it... I'd hate to clean it and then have it start up again in a few months doing the same thing. So what I'm just gonna put new switches in there, I think. Oh, listen to that. That's terrible. Maybe that is part of the amplifier causing that. That's on FM. That might be a... That might be a problem with the FM tuner. Definitely a switch problem. Alright, so I know where to start. We got pots, some switches to change out. We're going to do some ESR on these caps, and we're going to, I think first I'm going to take it and get all the dust blown out of this. Alright, I got the tone board out. I'm going to replace these three switches just because they're signal carrying switches, and these are your two speaker switches. I'm going to leave these alone, and I'm going to clean them. I'll take them out. I got to take this whole thing out as an assembly because there are 5 switches ganged together. I'll remove all these solder joints and then take the switches out, replace these 3, clean these 2, and then reassemble. It's not a big deal because this board easily comes out. And then while I'm at it, I'll attend to the pots. And any capacitor in the signal path is going to get replaced because this thing is, what, 45 years old now? These capacitors, you can't trust them anymore. They're going to drift in value, they're going to drift, and you know, you got two capacitors in the same signal path, one in the left channel, one in the right channel. This one degrades more than this one. Well, then you're going to hear a difference between the right and left channels. It's not overly obvious, but it does make a difference. So I'm going to replace some of these, and we'll get through this. There's not that many caps on this receiver anyway, and I think when I'm done, hopefully the goal is to make it sound as best it can, right? And we're going to do that. So let me start with, I need to start working on these switches. It's going to be a while. I'm not going to video this whole thing because it takes a long time to go through all these. All right, so let's move our attention to the tuning meter. We got the tuning meter here. It is stuck, so let's remove it and do our surgery on it. Black is positive. Let's do this one first. Okay, I'll put the rest aside and we'll work on this. This one looks like it's been glued together. Maybe somebody glued it in the past. I don't know, maybe they had it apart. There we go. Yeah, I think somebody's had this apart. Okay. I got the adjustment on the back here. The zeroing adjustment is right here. Let's try turning this one. These set screws are frozen. There we go. That back bearing is seized. That's not good. Hey, we're gonna have to get this screw to move. think I might have to replace this meter. Alright, I got meters that will fit. I have this one. This one's not ideal because it's got a red background, and if I shine light through it, it's going to be red, which isn't what we want. We want it to be green, right? But let's get a measurement on this. Let's see what our value is on the coil. And it's open circuit. How come it's open circuit? This meter's dead. Really? This meter's dead? Somebody's been mucking around with it for sure. And we got nothing on this meter. This meter's dead. Okay, I have another one here. This one looks like it might work, because we have $727 ohms. Everything's good. Let's see if we can. Tape off. This is aluminum, I think. Glued on pretty good. It is aluminum. Okay, I think this is going to work. We're going to have to make a few mods, but we're going to make it work. This meter works too, I think. Yeah. What I need to do is cut these two little things off here and slide the meter down a little bit more. It's sitting a little too high. Actually, it will go together like that. No, it's got to be trimmed. It won't fit. So I'm going to have to trim this up so that I can get the cover on. And we'll get this one reinstalled. This one's pretty scratched up. I don't want to use that. That's terrible. Plus, this one's been cooked by the lamps behind it. That's why it's all yellow like that. This one hasn't. So we're going to have a little better green light coming through instead of a murky one. going to trim off maybe 1/2 millimeter here. Okay, I think that'll work. No, it's hitting this post. Just about there. Actually, that might work right like that. Let me try this. Okay, that works. I'll secure the scale down with some double-sided sticky tape like this is. I'll secure it down and some double-sided tape, and then we'll clean this all up, reassemble, and then we'll put it back in. All right, so I got the double-sided sticky tape on the back. Let's peel this off, just to anchor the scale from moving around. Okay. Just don't want to get fingerprints all over everything and dust. Okay, here's our meter. Let's put it back together. And what I'll do is I'll get some tape. We'll tape this together at the bottom. We still have to wrap our green tape around the outside. And this has lost all of its adhesive stickiness, so I don't know, I'll have to tape that onto. Maybe I'll use a dab of hot glue or something. And we'll reinstall this. Looks like it's working now. Okay, I'll put that back in, and then we'll see how it works. It should work just as good as the original. I think I got all the light covered with green tape. Okay. Alright, so we've got some work done on this thing. We did a full recap on the amplifier, power supply, tone board, the phono board. I haven't done the FM tuner yet, or AM tuner. I haven't decided what my direction I'm taking that. They seem to be working okay now, but I'm going to go through alignment and I'm going to see how this tunes in. And well, there is no bad capacitors in here. I've tested them; they're all good. But I'm just going to leave that for now, for decide on that later. But let's do a power test. I got it all hooked up for 8 ohm dummy load, and I am scoping the output so we can turn this on. And start turning it up. I got 1000 hertz tone feeding in. It's the auxiliary 8 ohm dummy load, and I am scoping the outputs. So we got a nice clean on both channels. There's clipping. There's not too much flutter on the outputs, considering I upgraded the capacitors on the power supply. Let's see what we can do here for... That's right, clipping there. I'm going to take it, and that is 14.9 volts RMS. Just let this go for a while and warm up. And we'll see how this goes. Just checking the controls. That's the bass. Treble. Everything's working clean. Balance. Volume pot. Okay, it's been running full power now for over 8 minutes, so I'm going to shut it down. It's starting to get warm, but it's holding out well. And most importantly, it didn't blow up, this is where we want it to blow up if it's going to do that, but it's working good. Everything's good. I'm going to do a bit of frequency tests here. Let's try going up in frequency. Here we go. .24 kilohertz. And it's still flat. 37 kilohertz. 47 kilohertz. 57 kilohertz. Doesn't seem to be it's pretty flat across the board. Yeah, it's good. Let's take a good look at 20 kilohertz. It's doing pretty well. So, full power at 20 kilohertz. Clipping's right there. We got 13.8 volts RMS. Pretty good amp. Amp is good in this thing. Alright, so I just finished going through an AM FM alignment on this. The AM tuned in really nice. It's a little bit of improvement over what it was. It wasn't far off. The FM though, what do I have to say about the FM? The FM was full of noise before, and you could see it. The tuning indicator was flashing and stuff and is making all this shot noise, and I don't think that was right. So I went and snooped around a bit, and I suspected this transistor was bad. So what I did is I replaced it. It seems to be a lot better. It doesn't get, it's not all twitchy anymore, and it works a little bit smoother. So let's go show you what the FM works like. It's got no antenna.
You come over and you'd stay the night.
So I got
Would you love me?
about 7 bars there.
All of what I can do.
It doesn't have that twitchy noise and scratchy noise anymore, and the stereo light's not freaking out. Let's get an antenna on here just to see it through. Okay. So that's full deflection. Still picking up noise. Once you tune it in though, it all straightens out.
Field test required. For information and
अपने डॉक्टर को कॉल करो इलाज ਦੀ ਦੇਖਭਾਲ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਸੁਰੱਖਿਅਤ ਹੈ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮਦਦ
No one's having troubles.
By simply going to Coverage Express. Coverage Express makes...
you picked it. Weird.
Pulls in the strong station is very nice, and it sounds good too. Let's try AM here for a bit.
People who went and traveled, but I actually use a pizza spatula.
AM's working really great. It's quiet in between stations. Pulls them in strong. So I think I'm done with the tuners on this thing, and that should be it. I've got the amplifier biased and balanced. Everything else is done. One transistor replaced in the FM tuner. I replaced the 2 main filter caps. Even though they tested good, I upgraded them to 10,000 microfarad just to give this thing a little more kick on the bottom end. So I'm pretty much done, I think. I have to wrap it up and do the test drive. That's the best part.